So I just got a brand new Western Digital 6TB black, replacing my 4TB Samsung hard drive, which is unbelievably full up. I am a heavy user of hard drives. I've got 10 hard drives at the moment in my computer, mostly full of video and photography stuff that I do. It builds up really quick when you do photography in RAW. And just to show you sort of how many hard drives I go through, these are a selection of some of my old hard drives taken apart. And these are mostly Seagates. I will never buy another Seagate. Of all the hard drives I've been buying for decades, hard drives, and I must say I found Seagate the most unreliable and the most likely to basically die on you the day after whatever their warranty is. Like the 18 months, 2 years, boom, it's gone a day afterwards. So yeah, I know everybody has their own favourite brand, and everybody will have a good story or a bad story about the brand they use, but I must say, having tried so many different brands, I will always stick with Western Digital and the top of the range, the 5-year warranties. I don't think I've had a 5-year go. I've probably got one still going from about 10 years ago, and I will always from now on stick with Western Digital. And I know people have horror stories about them and all that, but I can only go by my own experiences. It may even be country specific. I don't know. So I can only say for what it's like in the UK. So it's an exciting moment. So I was looking at what is, because I'm an enthusiast for computers, and I do like a fast hard drive. So I was looking for what is the fastest based desktop at the moment, and it does seem to be the Western Digital black 6TB. Obviously, it's not great for power consumption and noise, blah 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 blah. But it's not for backup. It's from one of my main drives. And I do like fast hard drives. It's never going to be quite the same as solid state. But I have to say, these high capacity mechanical hard drives, they're touching what the solid states came in at, which were a game changer for read and write speeds. Obviously, it's like the 4KB benchmarks that really tell you what it's going to do in the real world. But for big files, it's approaching what an SSD would have done. But anyway, so this is from Overclockers in the UK, and I must say it's really great. This is one of the companies that has been around since basically I've been buying stuff for computers, and they've managed to keep going even when Amazon had taken on the world. And it's great. They're a really easy company to deal with, and it's really nice that a company like that that started as enthusiasts are still going. So this is the unboxing of my hard drive. I must say, as I said, I was looking for what is the fastest for a desktop. Obviously, you can get faster enterprise drives, but I see Samsung, was it Seagate, are doing a Barracuda Pro up to 10 terabytes now, but still seem to be below the benchmarks on the Western Digital Black. The only thing people are saying about this seems to be some people are complaining about heat, so I'll see if that's an issue, and some people complain about noise, but everyone has their own threshold on noise. So I'm gonna see. For me, it's not really an issue because I have loads of fans going in the computer anyway. It normally blocks any noise. To me, it's almost like white noise. It stops you this. Well, you see, overclockers. Yeah, it's like you get used to that on eBay. They always send you something in the packet, so you're more likely to give them a good review. But that's a nice touch you don't get from Amazon. So that's the packet. That's my invoice. And unlike Amazon, the box matches the other box. It's not like you get Amazon. You get a box like that, and it's like a little thing like that, and they're cutting down forests for those boxes. It's a scandal, really, isn't it? So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to do some benchmarks, and I'll let you know what I think of the noise and the performance. But basically, it looks like it's going to be like 200 plus megabytes. It's always easy to get them mixed up, isn't it? MBS megabytes on the read and write. I believe this is an OEM actually. I didn't actually look, but it's no retail packaging, so it's obviously an OEM. Not that it really matters. Normally means you get it for a few quid cheaper, doesn't it? And obviously the first thing you've got to do is go on the Western Digital website and make sure you register your 5-year warranty. So it's just delivered in plain wrapping, plain box, but well protected. There goes my mic. Well protected. And that's it. That's basically the hard drive. It is always an exciting moment. It's basically an anticlimax from this point onwards. But I'm going to do some benchmarks and see how it compares to my other hard drives. I've got a 3 terabyte Western Digital black in there, which it should outperform, but it should outperform everything in there, and hopefully it's going to well outperform the Samsung 4 terabyte that it's replacing, and then that will go to my backup. So obviously I'm running plenty of backups as well. So I'm just going to open that up. It's always nice that it's in one piece. Not a lot to say about that. Just to give you a quick specs, it's 128 megabytes of cache on that. 5-year warranty, as I said. Obviously it's SATA 6 gigabytes. Serial AT attachments. SATA. Funny how many people don't actually know what that stands for. So that's basically it. Right, I'm going to do some benchmarks. So I've done the benchmarks now, and here they are, and pretty happy at the end of the day. It's quite close actually to the Western Digital 3 terabyte black, which I've still got, but it is better. Actually, comparing it to the 3 terabyte black, the big difference is on the read-write sequential. My Western Digital black 3 terabyte was 171 read, 156 write, and on the 6 terabyte I'm getting 215 read, 231 write, which is great if you're transferring lots of big files, but I've got lots of little files really. And I was quite surprised actually the access time basically the same. The only other difference would be the 4K 64Q depth, where the 6 terabyte black is a 2.46 megabytes a second, and the 3 terabyte was 0.76. That was the only main difference, but in reality you're not going to see that sort of Q depth on a home computer unless you're using it as a server. And compared to an SSD, it's minuscule, isn't it, really? So the main difference is, I mean, in use it's fine. You don't notice any lag, even when I compare it to my SSDs. I'm pretty happy. So people were complaining about the noise. So comparing it to my Western Digital Green, which at the end of the day came out as all about low energy, you know, and spinning at a low speed, so low noise as well, is slightly noisier. So in terms of the clicks that you're going to hear, it's a little bit louder. It's hardly anything. You're going to do an A-B comparison to even hear the difference. A little bit noisier on startup, but it's not an issue. I mean, if you're thinking you shouldn't be hearing your hard drive, then these aren't the hard drives for you. But if you're thinking I don't want a really annoying loud noise, it's not that either. It's really not terrible. Even comparing temperatures to the other hard drives I've got in there, including the other Western Digital black that I had, what I've still got 3 terabyte, it's like a 1 degree, 2 degree warmer. It's nothing. So albeit I have got a fan on, blowing over it, but they're both steady around 42 degrees. So no real problems. Quite happy with it. So basically the specs are on the 6 terabyte. So basically for a desktop, again, about as fast as you're going to get. Obviously, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you see any difference is you know, between hard drives, you know, of a reasonable spec, is not going to happen, is it, in the real world, unless you're really benchmarking or doing something really intensive. For me, one of the big things is, for me, I think Western Digital, one of the more reliable brands. You'll have your own personal preference, but 5-year warranty, and it's a no quibble warranty. Of the ones I've had to exchange in the past, you know, I've just sent them off, and it's kind of, by return of post, basically you're getting another brand new hard drive. So I've not had any problems dealing with them. Of the probably, I think maybe it's only one. I think a Velociraptor as they call them, you know, at the time before the SSD was the thing. So I think that was the only thing I ever had to send back. If you are confused about they're doing this colour scheme, aren't they, on Western Digital? So first of all, they used to do the green, which was all about energy efficiency when it first came in, and had this thing about it spins at a lower speed, and at the time people will think, oh, it's horrific, because everyone was used to 7,200, although previously it had been 5,400 obviously, but then we got used to the 7,200 spin speeds, and then you're thinking, oh well, what, are you going to see any difference in the real world? And quite amazing, you just don't. But they don't do the greens anymore, so the blue is basically, I know they had the blues and the green together, but blue is basically that line now. So there is no green. The blue is equivalent, because that also spins at 5,400. I think that's also a 5-year warranty, but it's a lower. It's basically not quite as fast as the black. But unless you want the best out there and you're going to pay the premium, then it's the blue. And then they do purple if you for surveillance, because it does lots of video streams simultaneously. The gold, which seems on paper almost like the black, but not quite, is for basically much more expensive, designed for basically high resilience, but you know, overall reliability in a data center. So basically constant heavy workloads it's designed for, but on paper it's very similar to the black, and I think that's all their colours. So yeah, quite happy with my black. All the scare stories I was reading beforehand haven't materialised for me. It's running very happily. Yeah, if you're prepared to pay the premium, it's a nice hard drive. You probably wouldn't see any difference if you got the blue, unless you're benchmarking at the end of the day. And the blue, of course, is going to be cheaper. So that's my little overview of the Western Digital 6 terabyte black hard drive if you've got money to burn.